Spoiler season is upon us, and we have poster spoilers, so let's talk about it. So, if you're newer to the scene and you don't know what I'm talking about, usually every set over in Japan, there gets a promotional poster that comes out for the set, and it usually has a few of the cards from the new set on the poster, and they're usually cards we haven't seen yet. So we kind of get a little batch of mini spoilers at the start of the season. So I figure we can take a look at the new ones we saw and just talk about it for a bit. Now, some of the images are going to be a little tough to see because again, we're looking at a picture of a poster, but it's still enough that we can get a look at the art and see what the cards do. So let's jump right into it. So the first thing we get to see is the pre-release goodies. Every set you get a pre-release kit, and it usually comes with your packs, of course, but it comes with a promo card and a pack of sleeves. So our sleeves is this really cool Yuna art. She's looking really awesome. Yuna with her friends Ifrit, Ixion, Balfour, and Bahamut. And interestingly, I don't see Shiva on the card. I don't know why. I guess they just don't like her. But alongside Yuna, we have our promo, which is Ramu 16. I know he's in the car, but this isn't Sid. This is Ramu. But this looks so good as a full art. This is such a cool pick. I love it. It looks amazing. Now, Ramu, let's look at what he does. So Ramu his effect is first he's a 5 cost 9k, right? Ramu enters the field, or when Sidolphus primes into Ramu, you may discard one job icon or a summon. When you do so, you reveal the top 2 cards of your deck. You add all the lightning or category 16 cards among them to your hand. You dump the rest into the break zone. Then he has an S ability, Thunderstorm. You choose up to 2 forward your opponent controls, dealing 5,000 damage. So this is really neat. This obviously initially it has that synergy with the Sidolphus we already have, because Sidolphus says when he enters the field, you can search for a lightning summon and add it to your hand. So that gives you the summon that you can discard for Ramu's effect when you prime into him. So, Sidolphus, search a summon, prime into Ramu, discard the summon, draw 2 cards, right? It's like, we may see another Sidolphus this set, but that is currently that's like, what is already a nice synergy with the card. Yeah, this is a really interesting card. It's interesting because you almost want to do a direct comparison with the Phoenix 16 that we got a couple sets back, which is the one where it's like when Joshua primes into Phoenix, you can look at the top 4 of your deck and add 2 fire or category 16 cards to your hand. So it's very interesting because that one doesn't need a discard and it gets to dig 4 to add 2. Ramu almost kind of feels like he has so his counterweight is that he gets it on entry. That Phoenix only gets it when it's primed, so like it's kind of dead in your hand as a draw. But Ramu still almost feels like he has a little bit of that lightning tax on it. If you're not aware of the lightning tax, it is this thing where it's like a lightning card always seems to have like one more condition than it really needs to on it. And it's like it's a 5 cost that you have to discard 1 to get 2. So I guess on entry it's probably like nice and fair, but it's like Joshua is we're gonna look at the original Joshua. He's a 1 cost forward with a priming cost of 3, so it's 4 CP to get you 4 back, right? So you kind of break even playing the Joshua and priming. Sid is essentially the same because you get to add a summon to your hand. He's a 3 cost with a 3 cost prime, but you get to add a card back, but then you still have to discard. So it's the same cost as Joshua and Phoenix, but you have to discard a card to get the 2, and you're only getting 2 deep, so you almost have to be playing like all lightning cards or all category 16 cards. So we'll see where Ramu goes. I think it's gonna maybe a little bit depend on what Sidolphus, I'm assuming we're gonna get a new Sidolphus and what he looks like with his prime cost and what he does. It could change my opinion on this Ramu, but right now this Ramu just seems okay. I could see you playing it in like even just as a one of on its own in like a mono lightning deck or something. But the art is so cool. All right, moving on. Let's look at some of the new spoilers we saw on the poster. So the first one we're gonna look at. So we got two. We got the twins. So we'll look at the first twin first, which is Palom. Palom's image is a little hard to see, unfortunately. The glare kind of got this guy, but we can still get an idea what the card looks like, and it's so cool looking. I already love what's going on. It's a pretty simple card. 2-cost backup that you can dull, put him in the break zone. You can choose a forward and deal 5,000 damage, or you could dull, put Palom and a card named Porum into the break zone to choose a forward and deal at 20,000 damage, and then draw a card. So that's kind of interesting because it just specifies a card named Porum. It doesn't have to be like a Porum backup, because you'll see in a second the new Porum is also a backup, but like it doesn't have to be a backup. So you could play this Palom with a forward Porum and sacrifice your forward Porum to deal 20,000 damage and draw a card. So I could see some cool synergies here with using like Leonora backup to get your Paloms. You're bridging your fire and water backups pretty nicely, and then you can use that Palom later to synergize with we'll say like the Opus 9 Porum, which is when that Porum leaves the field, you get to add a summon back to your hand. So you like get to sacrifice both, draw 20,000 to something, draw a card, and add a summon back because of the Porum. It at least gives you enough value to feel like it was worth it to kill your own Palom backup off, right? So I could definitely see Palom having some pretty cool synergies and being able to work in that fire water package. I like this card. Like I said, the next one we have is Porum. Now we get a much better look at the art here. I'm assuming both of these are going to be in full arts, and I'm so excited to see the full arts of them because they are so gorgeous. Porum it's very similar to Palom. You can dull, put Porum into the break zone. This one, you look at the top card of your deck, you may put it at the bottom of your deck, and you could draw a card. So it kind of lets you like scry one and draw it, or put it to the bottom and draw a random card. Or put Porum into the break zone with a Palom, deal something 20,000 damage and draw a card. So like I said, I almost see Porum seeing less of a play than Palom, because I think the power of forward Porums is just greater than the power of forward Paloms. That was difficult to say. But like I said, you almost like to see that you can bridge your colors with like Leonora into Porum. But I mean, maybe there's a world where, you know, I've seen people play the Lightning Palom. The one that is a burst that deals 9,000 damage. I mean, water lightning, you're not playing any other Palom, so like there's a world, right? So, you know, there could be some niche cases for this Porum, but you know, if you're looking outside, but if you're looking in the realm of like water fire or something, I definitely could see the fire Palom backup seeing more play than this Porum. But cool synergy here. I like the twins. Next card we have is Chaos. All right, so Chaos is a 5-cost backup. When Chaos enters the field, your opponent selects one of the following 2 actions. Your opponent selects up to 2 forwards they control, as many as possible, and places them in the break zone, or your opponent discards 3 cards. So really mean effects written on this card, but like I think it is just I think it is safe to say a card that lets your opponent choose what to do just usually isn't good, right? Like, unfortunately, because again, if they have no cards in hand, they can just pick discard 3 and this card does nothing. You know, if they have no forwards on board, they can just pick, I'm going to choose 0 forwards and this card does nothing, you know? So it's unfortunately probably not worth paying 5 for. Again, unless your opponent has 3 cards in hand and, you know, exactly 2 forward, you know, if your opponent goes Tybus Mog and they're holding 3 cards in hand, you could go Chaos and go, all right, you choose. Give up Tybus Mog or give me the 3 cards out of your hand. But like, I think how often the card is going to come up, it's just not going to be worth slotting it into your deck, unfortunately. But it's still neat. but I just don't think giving your opponent the selection is ever really great. So the last two cards that we got to see are limit break cards, which is always nice. So the first one here we're going to look at is an ice limit break, and that's Seymour. So Seymour is a 7 cost 7k limit break 2. When Seymour enters the field, you choose a summoner you control, you put into the break zone, and when you do so, you choose a dull forward your opponent controls, break it, and your opponent discards a card. So Seymour is a summoner himself also. Initial gut reaction, not a huge fan of this card. The way my brain initially went around it is like, would I be looking for a 5 cost summon that breaks a dull forward and has them discard a card? And we kind of already have cards like that, and they don't see a ton of play. Plus being limit break 2, like you are dumping a lot of your limit break deck to use this effect, but I think you can't completely discount discard from the LB, right? It's something I really like about we recently got a set of LBs where there was the Fire Ice Sarah, and having the access to that discard in the limit break is super powerful. So while it feels expensive and kind of like, you know, you either gotta like nuke your own Seymour or give up one of your good cards, because there's not really any summoners that have like good death effects or something. So, and they have to have a dull forward, you know. I still think it is not still don't think you can completely discount having discard in the LB. So it's definitely one of those cards that like I could see you running a one of, but also if you're in ice, you're playing 5 cost forward Seymour, so he might just like either get stuck on the board and stop you from playing like Ice's greatest card right now, or you might just always have your forward Seymour on the board and this guy's just never going to hit the board. So, you know, that's the other thing, is just he might get locked out from his name, but it's still cool. The last card we're going to look at here is the Wind Drake. So we have a Wind Limit Break, is a 5 cost 8,000 power forward limit break 1, which I love to see. You love to see limit break 1. When Wind Drake enters the field, you choose a character in your break zone, remove it from the game. When Wind Drake leaves the field, add any cards removed by Wind Drake's abilities to your hand. I love this card. Honestly, of all the cards we saw in this little poster spoiler section, I think I like Wind Drake the best. I think this card's really cool. I'm very excited for this card. It's this cool. So first off, you know, you get to just like pick the best card in your break zone and say, do you want me to keep swinging with this 8,000 power body, or do you want to give me back the best card in my break zone? So it's like a pseudo 3 cost forward that kind of gets to become a pseudo 1 cost forward, because you're getting a card back whenever whenever it dies. So it's just like it feels like a very efficient body to put on the board, which is the next part that I really like about it, is Wind having a nice, cheap, good limit break 1 card, you know. I feel like right now, because a lot of the Wind LBs you play are like kind of specific. They're either multi-element or they're very specific, like Sid High Wind. Like you're playing it to search for backups turn 1 if you need them. So like your default, if you just need to stick out a wind body or like a default play, right now it's kind of just the Emperor, which is fine, but the Emperor is a limit break 2, which kind of is like an annoying thing to commit to. So the Wind Drake being a limit break 1 kind of just gives you this nice, like, sometimes you just need to put a wind body on the board to cast the free cost Alexander in your hand, right? You don't need to do anything spectacular. And the Wind Drake kind of just does enough that it's like, okay, I'm going to play this. I'm going to set a card at a game, and then I can cast Alexander. And now I've got this body that I did not feel bad playing. I didn't overcommit my limit break to it. So I think this is really cool. I really like the card. I like the text, and the art is super cute. Another one that we'll probably get a full art for, and I'm excited to see it. But yeah, that is going to be it for the poster spoilers right now. I know we're going to be really kicking off spoiler season now. We're going to have card of the week starting up again this week. I think we're going to have community spoilers are going to be starting to roll out soon. So I'm really excited to see what kind of cards we're looking at in the next set. But yeah, this was cool to get to go over. You know, let me know in the comments what cards you're excited for. Maybe if you liked any of these spoilers. Personally, for me, it's the Windrake. But yeah, until the next one, take care, everybody.